Good morning. How are you guys? I think we've all got stuff that's going on in our lives. I don't think that anybody is exempt from their challenges, whether it's work, relationships, um, finances, health, you name it. So that's why I wanted to make this video this morning, because I wanted to share a tool with you guys that can really help with learning how to overcome that monkey brain, the ego brain that is a constant chatter. It's like a cesspool of like nasty thoughts, attack thoughts, or like um, judgmental thoughts, or and a lot of it is beating up on ourselves, constant judgments of, it's not even just about other people, which it is as well. um, but it's one of the diseases of the human is that we tend to beat ourselves up when we don't do something right, when we feel like we're not living up to our what we think in our head we should, the standards that we think we should be living up to. um, it's really a pandemic, and it's because we haven't been taught how to train our minds, and we haven't been taught how to um, access higher levels of consciousness. And I'm not talking about like, Buddha, I'm not talking about like that kind of stuff, or Jesus. I'm not talking about that kind of consciousness. I'm talking about just learning how to train your mind to where you can access higher realms of consciousness, to where you can rise above the battlefield of the mind, um, and learn how to, when you do get thoughts, um, when you do start getting attacked by your own ego, your own monkey brain, how to rise above that, because it gets easier the more you do it. And I've gotten to where I've noticed a huge difference in the past few months on how, um, when I think certain thoughts, and even when I'm like, if I'm at the park or wherever I'm at, like if I um, hear somebody say something that's rude, or I see someone that's like, I don't know, it could be anything that I'm having a judgmental thought towards. It's not that I have to stop the thought, it's that I don't empower it. I don't sit there and ruminate over it, and I don't sit there and think, um, I don't um, I don't give energy to it, basically. And so I just immediately drop it, and then I give a loving thought towards that person or that experience that I'm having. I don't know if that was a good example or not, but it's just in the moment that you're in, whatever you're doing, whoever you're interacting with, it's like learning how to um, catch that thought immediately, instead of letting it run you, because that is a really um, unconscious habit that most humans have, and it's not any fault of our own. That's how we were trained, and unfortunately, it is a part of our human anatomy. We do have egos, so we have to learn how to train the ego. So I wanted to, well, okay, so this is what I wrote down in my notes. So there's two different, I'm going to give an analogy. So there's like, it's in relation to what I've just said. So there's two different channels. There is the how we live most of our day, the static, well, I should put that down here, the static, constant chatter, constant judgments, constant, what should I be doing, listening to those negative emotions, um, focusing on others and projecting onto others and judging others and beating up on ourselves and all that stuff, all that lower energy stuff. And then there's a different radio station. So this is like one radio station. And then there's the radio station here where you can tune into the quiet voice of God, the peaceful, I'm not choosing not to, in every moment, choosing not to judge, choosing not to um, play in that ball ground, basically. Um, and it is work. It is work. It is a spiritual practice, but the rewards of that are amazing. I mean, the peace that you get from that, and the the love that you feel, and I mean, I've noticed a huge difference in myself in these past few months. And it's not to say that I haven't been working on myself for years, because I've been working on myself for a long time. But I have noticed a big difference since I've been picking up my Course in Miracles work again. And I've also doing these videos and helping other people, that also plays into it as well, because I am basically being forced to deal with my shadow side. And everybody has that shadow side. It is the ego. It's the ego playground. Um, so I like to give that example of the ego playground versus, or the ego channel. Like you turn the knob to change the channel on the radio, which you know now we have like Pandora. So we don't have like, but you know what I'm saying. Like you have the two channels, and the love channel, the God channel, the peace channel, joy channel is up here. But you can't get to it if you are not training your mind and quieting the mind. I guess that's the missing piece of this message, is quieting the mind. Quieting the mind to where you can get to that elevated state of training, or cutting out those thoughts as soon as you are witnessing yourself. You say, this is not a loving thought. This is not serving me. This is not serving the other person or the group of people or whatever. And it's definitely not drawing abundance and prosperity and more love and more of the right things and that I need to thrive in my life. It's not giving me any of that. It's just going to create havoc. The ego's playground is a cesspool of things that you don't want, basically. So I wanted to briefly, before I read what I want to read to you, I want to state that this is a tool that you can use, the tool of being the witness. And I've said this in other videos, becoming the witness of your ego, and remembering that analogy that I gave you of the two different stations that you can tune into. And you do have free will with this. You think that you are not in charge of your mind. We are all taught to believe that we're just victims, and we react right away to our emotions. But we are not our emotions. We are not our minds. We are not. That's hard to take in for a lot of people. But we are not our minds. We are not our egos. We are not our emotions. We are that peaceful, loving soul presence that is an offshoot of God, that is a part of God. And we will return to that when we pass away. But for right now, we have work to do in untangling the conditioning that we've been conditioned into and reprogramming in the right way so we can live a more healthy life. So I just wanted to read this really brief. It's lesson 49 from A Course in Miracles, but it's Tina Louise Spalding's A Year of Forgiveness. She breaks it down for us. God's voice speaks to me all through the day. Very true. That peace is always there underneath. It is important for you to understand that the ego's voice talks to you all throughout the day, as well as God's. When you choose not to listen to the ego's voice and go beneath the raucous cries of attack, shame, and fear, you can reach another level of consciousness. It is always there, dear ones. It is always there. You are so busy reacting to the voice in your head that says, buy this, eat that, drink that, she's bad, he's bad, you're bad, that you never get to hear the guidance we often speak about when we channel through this being. And then I'm going to skip down. Time is not given to you to become wealthy, nor is time given to you to become old or sick. Time is given to you to learn how to hear the voice of God, to hear the guidance from inside of you, beneath the ego's crazy and vicious voice. To weaken the ego, you must stop listening and reacting to it. You must stop believing those thoughts to do certain things. You must quiet your mind and align it with less combative thoughts, ideas, and beliefs. You must go beneath the surface of the storm. Deep down, beneath the tides that move back and forth, there is calm. The same is true for your minds. And while I'm not going to sit here and promise you complete peace and complete joy, and, I think we all know that is impossible being human. I do feel like most of us, we play in a battlefield that we don't have to play in every day. It's our choice, but we don't realize that it's a choice. Like, we just think that that's how life is and that we have to do it. And sometimes we do go through challenges where we do have to face our demons. We do have to face our shadow side, the things that are not serving us, and that God is like, okay, I'm shining the light on that. You need to work on that. And it's not a judgmental thing from God or the universe. It's just, at some point we are faced with our shadows. But what I'm saying is that a lot of what we create in our lives is unnecessary because of the way that we let our ego brain, our monkey brain, control us. Like, we aren't rising above the battlefield. We are choosing to remain in the battlefield. And sometimes I know that's easier said than done. But it is it's a training. It's kind of like a training program that you go through. Like, you just have to keep training yourself, and it is work. It is work. But okay, so do you want like the life of misery, where you are constantly dealing with dramas that could have been prevented because of your ego brain? Or do you want like a life where, you have, because you've done the work to refine your mind and refine and do your spiritual practices, whatever that is for you? It's different for everybody. It doesn't have to be doing yoga or meditation every day. Like, what is it for you? Is it doing a lot of reading? Is it sitting quietly? But also throughout your day, while you're doing mundane things, is like witnessing, stepping back and witnessing, because your soul is the witness. The ego brain, the monkey brain, is the one that's in charge until you take charge of it. So, just start being the witness and choosing that radio frequency, that radio station that you want to plug into. If you're tired of living a life of like pretty much what feels like a lot of the time either misery or that middle level of dissatisfaction, like the dissatisfaction, and I know I feel this from my own mind. The dissatisfaction comes from just like I've said throughout the whole video, not controlling your mind and not feeling the emotions that you need to feel to go through. Sometimes you go through some painful processes. Like, I've been processing some painful emotions lately. And when you get into those states, it's because you're not processing things, looking at them straight on, but also listening to that monkey ego brain and not training it the way that it needs to be trained. So anyway, I hope this kind of detoured into different sections. I feel like it wasn't like a very congruent video, but it's okay. I mean, I don't care about my videos being perfect. I just want to get my message across, and I know that it's helping some people. I hope you guys are getting a good start to your day. Well, I know for me here, it's like, I don't even know what time it is. I think it's 7 something. I like to do these videos in the morning, preferably after my son goes to school, because not only is he not here to interrupt the videos, but he, or because I'm just, I do my devotional and then sip my tea or my coffee, and then, it just starts flooding in. It's so quiet in the morning. Yeah, anyway, I hope you guys have a good day. I love you. And reach out to me if you want a coaching session, or, it doesn't have to be a professional coaching session. It can just be talking, That's why I'm putting these videos out, is to help people and to put my heart out there for people. I know that I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't a calling for me. And I have just recently gotten to the point where I was ready to branch back into coaching, because I had to go through a few years of basically running from myself, in many ways. And so I want to put myself back out there. Yes, I am still going through my own battles. I have a lot of battles right now, but it doesn't mean that I can't still serve. And that's a big lesson that I've learned. I told a friend one time, I was like, I just don't feel right about coaching right now, because, I have so many battles that I'm dealing with. And now I've come to realize that just because you are going through your own battles and you're growing yourself, sometimes at slower speeds than at faster speeds, it doesn't mean that you can't help other people. You can. You can, and you do. And you touch people's lives and hearts. And that's a really beautiful concept to really grasp, because we think that we have to be perfect in order to serve people or to help people, but we don't. We don't. So anyway, if you need to talk, please reach out to me. Rachel K. Donna 1111 at gmail.com. And we'll talk, and you can bare your soul with me. It's all private. Love you guys.